Hello, everyone. Welcome. My name is Kathy McGhin, and tonight I want to share some really great tips with you about our hair and having our healthiest and best hair. It's kind of like I've always said, if our hair looks good, we can tackle the world. There is not a problem that we face that we can't conquer. It is really important for us to do all the things that we can to give ourselves the healthiest of locks. And I'm going to give some really great tips that you're going to be able to use starting tonight in transition to a natural hair care system because that's really important. And we're going to share some reasons why. All right, so let's just dive right in. So for me, I started with Young Living about five and a half years ago, and I started using this company's essential oils. But little did I know when I got started with them, they have so many products from cleaners to my skincare to makeup. And yes, even our shampoos and conditioners. So I was thrilled to know that they had shampoo and conditioner and couldn't wait to just dive right in. Why do I trust Young Living? Why is it so important to know your company and what products they're using? Well, they don't have to put everything on the label. That is one thing. And most companies are into this kind of this bait and switch. They're going to put all this stuff in there that makes you think that your hair is feeling fantastic. For a little while, it may even look fantastic, but it's really not. So we want to make sure that we're putting our trust into a company that is going to give you a guarantee that they're using only the best and the best quality and the best product. So for me, Young Living gives us the seed to seal guarantee. So it doesn't matter if I'm buying their essential oils, their skincare system, their makeup, and yes, even their hair care system. You're going to get only the best of the best. So their seed to seal is a part of this where they own most of their own farms, but even their partner farms has to abide by the seed to seal guarantee, which means they're never going to use any pesticides. They use only the best practices in from the seed to distillation, no chemicals, no additives, no nothing. And so for me, I take great confidence that if I'm going to switch over to a natural product, then I want to make sure it's the best on the market. And for me, that was Young Living. So let's talk a little bit about why. Let's see, hang on, for some reason, my screen is not. All right, so sorry, had a little delay there. So let's talk about why that's so important. So in our personal care items, especially our skincare, makeup, and yes, our shampoos and conditioners, guess what? That is where big companies love to pour all this junk in it that is not good for us. Most personal care items have all of this. Why? Because it gives us this false sense of security. So they're putting things in there like parabens, sulfates. Sulfates is what gives us this really incredible sudsy shampoo. And they put all these synthetic smells, and we love smells. I don't know about you, but I love an amazing smell. And they know that, and they know that that's going to sell that product for them. So when they're putting sulfates in there and putting parabens in there and petrochemicals and silicone, it makes your hair suds up really great. And you're thinking, oh my gosh, this is getting the most amazing sudsy experience. You think that it's cleaning your hair, and in fact it's not cleaning your hair. All it's really doing is actually can be damaging your hair. But also all of these products, these chemicals and additives they're putting in there has many bad effects. Hormone disruption, it can cause cancer. Breast cancer is well known from the parabens in there because of hormone disruption that it causes. It over time can cause damage to your hair, asthma, migraines. A lot of these same shampoos and conditioners, guys, reduces sperm count in men, or it can cause reproductive issues in women. How many people do we know that are trying to conceive and they just can't? And a lot of times it's the products that we have in our home and are putting on our body, and we have no idea that over time. And here's something else to think about. When we're in the shower, most of us are taking a warm shower. Your pores are wide open. Yes, when we put lotions on our skin and we add things, it absorbs in. But when we're in a shower and the pores are wide open, it's just open territory. It's going directly in and it's affecting every cell in your body. That's just a few. If you want to look this up a little bit more, you can actually go to the EWG.org and type in shampoo and chemicals or anything like that, and it will give you test after test and just tons of research that's been done on the harmful effects of all of those chemicals in your day-to-day products, but especially in our personal care items and shampoos and conditioners. So that's what's in what we normally use. And that's why it's very important for you to shift over to products that don't have any of that. And luckily for us, Young Living offers that. So here's Young Living's guarantee and their shampoo and conditioners. They're all plant-based formulas. They're vegan friendly. There are no sulfates, essential oil infused. So that's incredible. And I'm going to share some tips with you along the way in just a few minutes on how to get more in there. They are paraben free, no harsh chemicals. So you're not going to have all the sulfates. You're not going to have all these things in this amazing company's plant-based products, which is excellent. The problem is a lot of times we have problems transitioning, and I'm going to walk you through the problems that you have those. But first, let's talk about a few facts. Did you know that your hair grows on average about a ½ inch per month? So most of you knew that I had a salon. I owned a salon, and a lot of women would come in and they would say, my hair's just not growing. And I would look at their hair and I would say, yes, it is. It's growing, but because of the damage, maybe they're going through hormone issues. Maybe they were highlighting their hair. Other things, it could have been environmental. And yes, it could have been the products that they were putting on their hair actually was causing it to break off. So it was growing, but it was also breaking off. So it on average grows about a ½ inch per month, except for in spring and in fall. More than likely, you're going to have a little growth spurt. So if you ever go to your hairdresser and you say, oh my gosh, I don't know what happened. My hair just really grew this time. Well, it's probably because it's in that little spring or fall time. And it does grow a little bit more. The way that we can actually make it grow more is when we eat really healthy, you can notice some changes, and I'm going to share a few of those with you in just a few minutes. The other thing that I wanted to talk about is if you develop split ends, and a lot of people do, it can come from just heat and blow drying products, things like that. Go ahead and get a nice little trim. Look at your ends. If you see the split ends, go ahead and trim it off. You will see products out there or advertisement that says, repair your split ends. This will take care of your split ends. There's no such thing. There is products that can make it look and feel a little bit better. And to the naked eye, it will look healthy, of course. But once that split end starts, it's going to ride up that hair shaft. So if you don't go ahead and take care of it, at some point, your hairdresser is going to tell you the only way to get this out of there is to go above where that split end is and cut it off. So it's better that once you see that, go ahead and get a nice little trim. You'll be so glad you did. And your hair will be so much more healthier, have a little bit more life. And when you curl it, it will definitely hold a lot better. Now, it takes about 6 to 8 months to transition a lot of times over to a natural hair care product. But that's because we're used to using all of these products that have silicones and they have parabens and all these fillers, and your hair gets adjusted to it. And when you go to transition out, the hair, our bodies are incredible. So it produces based on what you feed it. And in that moment, we're giving it shampoos and conditioners that it is responding to, and it's building up on your cuticle. All right. So luckily for us, Young Living has quite the variety of shampoos and conditioners. So there's something for everyone, trust me. And the only thing that I did not have on here that I just wanted to lightly mention is that if you have children or babies, they actually have 2 excellent lines. So if you have babies or infants that's maybe under 2, the Seedlings line is amazing. And if you have children 2 and above, the Kids Sense line is absolutely incredible. So for Young Living, they have a variety. So no matter what your hair type is, we've got you covered. So the products, if you have dry hair, if you have damaged hair, if you have curly hair, because curly hair needs moisture to make that curl bend and not be frizzy, then you're going to want to use the Copaiba Vanilla. If you have flat hair, lifeless hair, and you're always saying, I really like volume, then you're going to want to go to the Lavender Volumizing Shampoo. And then if you're someone that probably right now at the beginning of your detox and transition has oily hair, then the clarifying shampoo, your Lavender Mint, is your clarifying shampoo and conditioner, and that's what you're going to want to start with in the beginning. But with just a few steps of transitioning, I feel like you're going to see a whole different set of hair on down the road in a couple of months. Now, as with everything else, guys, you can't start your transition of wanting healthy hair without starting from the inside. It really, everything works that way. We have to take care of the inside to be able to give the best from the outside. And the best two supplements that I tell everyone to get started with is Ninja Red and Sulfurzyme. And with Sulfurzyme, of course, it has MSM in it. We all know that it's an anti-inflammatory, but it helps to protect our cells, and it helps our cells to regenerate and come back cleaner. It also, and cleaner and stronger. It also helps with, cleansing, and it helps our liver detox and all of the things. So in so many incredible ways, it's doing a lot for overall wellness. But when you take Sulfurzyme, you're probably going to notice not only is your hair might be coming in a little thicker and a little shinier, but you're also going to notice that your skin is going to have a little bit more of a glow and look a little bit better, and also your nails too. So that's just a win-win all the way around. And for Ninja Red, of course, y'all all know I love some Ninja Red. It's so good for you. It's just overall wellness. It has the wolfberry in the Ninja Red. And here's the thing about it. It supports normal cellular function as well, and it helps the body rid of free radicals. So again, anti-inflammatory, all of these things are cleansing out your cell so that it can regenerate. And when it regenerates, it comes back stronger and doing all the right things instead of it being clouded down with things that it just gets slow and fogged down with. So those two are the best as far as getting started with your supplements. Now, before I talk to you about transition, here is just a few ideas depending on what your needs are. So determine what oils that you really want specific to your needs. So if you have dry hair, then cedarwood, patchouli, lavender, geranium, all of those are great oils. You can go ahead and add extra into the shampoos and conditioners that you are using. It's okay to add a little extra in there, or you can just put them directly on the scalp and massage in. If you have oily hair, then I suggest peppermint, lemon, tea tree, and lavender. All of those are excellent. If you have oily hair, again, you can add them into your shampoo and conditioner, or you can massage it into your scalp directly. Now, here for hair growth, this is something that I would suggest doing morning and night. So with your dry skin brush, you want to activate and use your dry skin brush on the scalp to massage. What that does is it's helping with lymphatic drainage, but also it's going to help oxygenate those where the hair follicle is. It's going to help with circulation, blood flow, all the things, which is really key point when we're trying to grow our hair. And then we're going to use 30 drops of cedarwood, 30 drops of rosemary, 10 drops of lavender. You can add a little bit hazel in there and shake really well. And you want to dry skin brush your scalp, and you want to do this morning and night every single day. I have known people that have done this when they have had thinning hair from maybe they've had a pregnancy, maybe they have gone through a hormonal change, maybe they have gone through menopause, all kinds of things, and this does work. So it's definitely something that I would definitely keep in my recipe book. All right, so let's talk about transition. So when we start to transition, the first thing I usually hear people say is, I can't take it because the shampoo is not sudsing up. It's not giving me all this suds like the other one is. That is because our brain has been trained that, the more suds that it has, the cleaner that the hair is. And that's absolutely not true. It's not doing anything. All that suds is not doing a darn thing for your hair. Nothing. So the low poo is okay. It's working. It's just we have to retrain ourselves that is okay. Now, I didn't have as much of a problem, but some people will, and it's because they probably detox off of their hair. It's probably got a lot of buildup. And so when you first get started, I suggest now Young Living changed their shampoos and conditioners back in convention. They launched a new and revised version of it. I like both versions. I'm not, the difference really was is they added more plant-based cleansers and a little bit more of the botanical elements in there. But other than that, they're a lot the same. And a part of that was trying to get people to where their hair would suds up just a little bit more. Now, like with everything else, Young Living's products are so concentrated that when I first started, yes, I did take one bottle of shampoo and I would divide it into two, and you would split equal parts and then add hot water to that, and you can shake it really, really well before each use. And when you use your shampoo and conditioner, you want to wet your hair, really put a little bit on there, start to massage it in, then put your head back under the shower, get it wet. The key here is making sure that your hair is really, really saturated and wet, and then start working it in, rinse it out, and then do it again. I do not divide it out much anymore. And the reason that people would do that is because we usually use way too much of that. And it's because of the type of products that we were using. But with Young Living, you don't have to. So I don't necessarily do the hack of dividing mine and adding water to it. I just don't need but about a dime of it to wash all of this. It just doesn't take a lot. So I put a little bit in my hand and add water to it. Make sure my hair is really saturated. You're always going to start in your scalp area and start to massage. Make sure that it's very, very wet, and then get into the scalp and start working it in. My hair will lather very well now because it's very clean. And that's the thing, is you start to go through the transition once it starts cleaning and getting all that detox out, you're going to notice that it probably does have a little bit more lather to it than it did when it first started. And I always shampoo it twice. So at first, you feel like it doesn't have lip. In other words, oh gosh, I feel like I need some conditioner. It's okay. Use your conditioner. Put a little more conditioning in the beginning. That may be true. And then there's a couple of recipes that I'm going to share with you that you're probably going to love as well. If you don't have the, oh my gosh, it feels like it needs a little bit more conditioning, then you're probably going to be, oh my gosh, my hair feels a little bit more oily. And I don't like it. It's kind of feeling gummy and it kind of feels oily. So if you're that person, you definitely have to go through a detox phase, which I recommend it for everyone when they first start. We're going to start with a vinegar rinse. Don't worry, I've got the recipe on the next page. And then here's a little hack for you. I know people that use this. This works really well. If your hair is oily, first of all, if your hair is normally oily anyway, guess what? You're washing it every day. And guess what? You shouldn't be. When you wash your hair every day, you're making your hair produce more oil. Why? Because again, our bodies are incredibly smart. So when you shampoo your hair every day, then you're sending the signal that, oh my gosh, it just got stripped of all the oil. I need to make more compensate for that. So if you're shampooing your hair every day, that is a big no-no. You're making it produce more oil, and it's just the revolving door because you're saying, oh my gosh, it's so oily. But when you shampoo it every day, it's going to be oily because the body is saying, I need to replace that. So we're going to do the detox with the vinegar rinse. And then the Thieves dish soap is excellent for oily hair. When we're going through this transition, it works amazing. I know people that use it. They absolutely love it. And you can also add a little bit of baking soda to it to help strip it out with the Thieves dish soap. So if you're one of those that has oily hair and feel like you need to do something, then that might be a good option for you. Also use oil blotting papers like you would use on your face. Then use that in between shampoos. Y'all, when I first started transitioning, I would wash my hair. I could go every other day. And after I could skip a day, but if I skipped more than that, then my hair would feel oily and I could take it. Now that I've gone, I literally wash my hair maybe on the fourth day, but most times it's 5 days. It's never oily. The only reason is I feel like it just needs, it doesn't have the shine to it. And I love the way it makes my hair shiny when I first shampoo it. So on the fourth or fifth day, I'm going to shampoo my hair, but it's not ever oily anymore, ever. So you can use blotting papers to help with a little bit of that, or you can make a dry shampoo. This works really well. I would take about a half a cup of cornstarch. You can add like a tablespoon of baking soda and add your cedarwood, tea tree, rosemary. All of those are really good. Just a couple of drops of each and apply it at the scalp and massage it in. You don't need it here. You just need it here. And if you have dark hair, you can add some cocoa powder in there. But also, I would encourage you to use a bristle type brush. And what that does is oil is distributed from our scalp. It starts here. And when you use a bristle type brush, it's going to distribute it all over. So it's not compounded all right here and looks greasy right here. It gives a more motion. And so while you're going through this transition, these are just things that will make it easier so you don't give up on the calls. Because I promise you, if you stick with it, and remember what I said, it takes about 6 to 8 months for some people to get through that complete transition. So if you stick with it, I promise you on the other end is such a beautiful time with your hair because it's going to be shinier. You're probably not going to have to shampoo it nearly as often, and it's just going to have that healthiness to it. Okay, so let's see. All right, so here's the apple cider vinegar rinse that I was telling you about. Let's see here. So in a 16-ounce glass spray bottle, you're going to put, if you have dry hair, I would use 1/4 of a cup. If you have a little bit oilier hair, I would use 1/2 cup of apple cider vinegar, a cup of water, 3 drops of clary sage. And here's a tip, girls. If you are having hormonal issues, clary sage definitely needs to be in this recipe because it works amazing for any of the girls having some kind of hormonal deficiency. So 3 drops of clary sage, 3 drops of tea tree, 2 drops of chamomile, and 2 drops of your lemon and your apple cider vinegar. And again, 1/4 for dry. And if you have oily hair, then I would definitely use 1/2 cup. Just leave it in the spray bottle and spray it on. I shampoo, I spray with that in the beginning, and then you're going to rinse it out. This is going to help you with your detoxification in the very beginning. All right, so a lot of people have heard about the Mermaid Hair spray or Mermaid Hair. This is actually a conditioning spray. It's like a detangler. I love this. I found this cute little graphic. I did not design this little graphic. This recipe is one of the recipes, and then I gave option 2, which is the recipe that I use. So this one, it says a 4-ounce bottle. I do use the exact same for the most part, the exact same oils here, the 20 drops of the cedarwood, rosemary, lavender. And you'll see that those are most common in everything that you do with your hair care. The only thing that I did is I did not use a 4-ounce bottle. I used an 8-ounce bottle, and I put water with a little bit of witch hazel. And if you're going to use witch hazel, make sure that there is no alcohol in that one. It does not need any alcohol in it. And then I also added a little bit of lavender conditioner in mine. Shake it really good, and it works really well after you've shampooed and conditioned your hair, and as a leave-in, as a detangler. So it's one of the great ways. So if you have damaged hair or if you have curly hair, this one will be your best friend. If you're wanting that beachy wave, just add salt water to it. It works incredible. All right. So here's a little tip for you. I've used rice rinse forever in my salon. This stuff is amazing. And of course, I was thrilled several years ago to find out that Young Living actually promoted this recipe with rosemary. So I had to dive in and use it, and it works really good. But I can assure you that a white rice rinse works really well. So where this comes from is actually a little village in China. And everyone there does the rice rinse on their hair, and they have long flowing hair, and they started nicknaming this little village Long Hair Village. This is where this comes from. Y'all, this goes back centuries. People have been doing this for centuries. But I can attest that this is a really great one for you to try if you have damaged hair, if you feel a little TLC. So it's a half a cup of organic white rice. You do not want to use any kind of instant rice or brown rice, none of that. So it needs to be organic white rice, 3 cups of distilled water, 5 to 10 drops of rosemary. Rinse your rice really well until the water runs clear. And then you're going to put it in a bowl, and then you're going to add your distilled water in there. You're going to let it soak for about 20 minutes. And then after it soaks, you're going to get in there and just kind of knead the rice just a little bit. And what's going to happen is that water is going to become really cloudy. So then you're going to drain that cloudy water off, put it in a jar, add your essential oils to it, put the lid on there, and you're going to leave that for about 12 to 24 hours. It needs to kind of ferment in there, if you will. Then when you go to use it, you're going to shampoo your hair. So you want to start with clean hair. You want to shampoo your hair, saturate with a rice rinse, massage it really good into your hair and scalp, and leave on for 20 minutes. And what I usually do is take a plastic cap and put my hair in a plastic cap while it's sitting there for 20 minutes. Okay. And then when I take it off, I just rinse it really well and condition it. So this works really good. So that's definitely one that you want to keep in your arsenal and try and give it a try. All right. So now we talked about your shampoos, your conditioners, walking through the transition. I promise you, if you're one that you're having a struggle with it, just stick with it. Use some of those tips that I talked to you about, because I promise you on the other side, you will love your hair. You truly will see a difference and be so glad that you did it. Now, I love the Mermaid Hair Oil. So when I'm styling my hair, after I've styled my hair, a lot of people love to have a little polishing serum. If you have curly hair, it's almost a must. If you have frizzy hair or anything like that, you want to polish these ends. This is not a polish. This is not an oil to put at your scalp. This is our healthiest hair. Your oil is going to be distributed here. It never needs oil added there. So just put a drop or two in your hands, massage into your palms, and you're just going to touch it right off the ends. And it's just going to really polish out any of those split ends or curly hair or a little bit of frizz that it may have. All right, so how do we get started? If you are not yet a member of Young Living, then we would love to have you join us, and you will not look back. So you always want to get your discount. You don't ever want to make an order and not get your full discount. So how do we do that? All you need to place a one-time $100. You don't have to do anything else. As long as you place another $50 in a year, your account stays open. I know you're not going to do that because you're going to find all these amazing products that you're going to want to use, but it's just a one-time order. You're not on any kind of monthly order or anything like that. And if you want to get started with the hair care, you could get the shampoo, conditioner, your Thieves dish soap, like we talked about, the Thieves cleaner, and maybe even the Mermaid hair oil, and you're going to be all set to get started. And I promise you, you're going to love it. Now, if you're like, Kathy, I really don't have that $100 right now. I think I need to stick to a budget, and I'm scared to let go of $100. That's okay. That's why I love Young Living. They are here to do everything that they can to make sure that every person that would like to have these products in their home have the ability to do that. So they created on our Subscribe and Save, which is like a monthly subscription box, if you will, they created and changed it where you can put actually one item. So you could put that shampoo on your Subscribe and Save, and then you get to choose the frequency. It could be every month, every 2 months, or every 3 months. And here's the thing, when the 3 months comes, let's say you choose 3 months, when the 3 months comes up, you don't have to get the shampoo again. You could try chapstick, or you could try the cleaner. It is completely in your control what you get. But the important thing is that you're getting started, and you're getting started with the discounts. All right, guys, that's a wrap. I hope that you got some good, interesting tips from this, and that you're going to get up tomorrow like, I got to do this. I got to detox my house and hair and get started. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you next week, every Tuesday night at 8 o'clock for another class. All right, bye-bye.